A look at what's making headlines in the newspapers this morning. I'm joined by senior political journalist Carien du Plessis. Carien, thank you for your time, and good morning to you. Let's reflect on, what we all witnessed yesterday, what we saw, but also the headline here on the Mercury. The manifesto aims to turn the tide. That's the headline on the front page of the Mercury. They're leading with the angle that, Ramaphosa obviously promising competent councillors and an end to outsourcing. But from your part, what stood out for you from the ANC's manifesto launch yesterday?
Well, I went to the manifesto launch in Pretoria because I thought it would be nice to see all the people reunited, all the ANC leaders. I think it's the first time I see them on a stage like this since January last year. So it was a kind of a reunion. So for me, the event stood out more than the actual manifesto. The actual manifesto, it was kind of predictable. For me, it's interesting to see how the ANC is going to sell itself in this election to voters who have heard the same promises over and over again, who have, in 2016, I think a lot of voters deserted the ANC, and the ANC needs them to come back. In order, Cyril Ramaphosa needs them to come back in order to show that he is what the ANC needs, and in order to sort of secure his position in the ANC, and obviously also the ANC councillors want to, people need jobs, people want to be in power. So that to me was interesting, and I'm not sure that I was entirely convinced. The manifesto, there was a lot of admission of guilt, admission of failures, admission by the president that the ANC didn't always appoint the right people in the right positions, an admission that the ANC failed to deliver services, that it didn't always do things correctly. And that to me, it was kind of a depressing speech in that respect. I was kind of, it didn't sort of inspire me. If I, had to decide if I were an undecided voter, I'm not sure what was in there, other than President Ramaphosa saying, we were renewing the ANC, we were on a path of renewal, and we started it in 2019, and give us more of the same. Because maybe he did, he listed the reforms that happened in the NPA, the SIU, investigating corruption, but yet we see every day news stories of corruption coming out. We see the digital vibe scandal that happened under his watch. So, and then also people are feeling this election very much. In the sense of there's no water, electricity, water infrastructure is crumbling, electricity is out. We saw what happened in Soweto. Was it last weekend, 2 weekends ago, when the president was there? So yeah, what stood out really for me was the fact that it was a physical event. Yeah. I think that was the most notable thing for me.
More than anything that happened in a while. Well, Carien, I know that you have to rush through a story, but thank you for speaking to us. And I suppose that's, what the consensus is even on the ground. That did it inspire confidence, did it inspire people to vote? We'll have to wait and see at the polls what exactly will come about of it. Thank you so much, political journalist Carien du Plessis. But let me continue with the Mercury here. They're leading with another story. Anti-vaxxers bringing Durban CBD to a halt. You could see that picture at the bottom of the page of the Mercury here, and just a group claiming to be members of the now defunct Umkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association, supported by other organizations, led a march in Durban yesterday protesting against mandatory COVID-19 vaccination, proposed vaccine passports, and demanding the removal of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, the protesters have established an umbrella body called the People's Revolutionary Movement, which includes organizations such as, Unity Group, PEPA, the SACP, and Unemployed Graduates Movement. And they are anti-vaxxers who are just basically saying that they do not want, these mandatory vaccines, proposed vaccine passports, but also quite interesting, calling there for the removal of President Cyril Ramaphosa. All right, let's head over to the Herald right now and see what they are leading with. You could see that headline there, paying the price for crumbling water pipes. Just 5 days and counting as many Bay residents still with dry water. You could see residents, they're queuing up just to get water. And it seems there will be many days of the Nelson Mandela Bay residents lining up for water as the municipality tries to counter the effects of crumbling pipeline infrastructure that is more than 50 years of age. Now, for a fifth consecutive day now, just yesterday, hundreds of residents were made to stand in long queues to fill containers from water tankers that had been sent to affected, areas there. And it's quite interesting that this coincides with the ANC's election manifesto, amongst other things. The ANC president making promises to deal with water crisis in the country, but also apologizing for the ANC's past failures. And one wonders then, why hasn't the ANC focused more on correction other than coming and just, talking about the apologies? And as Carien mentioned, it felt more like an apology, statement, more like an empathy, manifesto launch. However, we'll have to wait and see what the polls have to say, because at the end of the day, it is South Africans who have to decide who actually governs and resolves some of the issues we are seeing in our municipalities.